Okay. Hello, guys. Sorry for coming in late. Sorry for coming in late and due to some certain issues. Sorry for that. But that will not actually stop our class for today. I believe our class for today is going to be a wonderful one. So, as usual, before we do anything, we just have to pray. Let's pray. Jesus' name, we thank you for your help, for how you have given us the grace to go this far in this program. Father, it's by your own grace and by your own strength we are running the program. That in your name be exalted in the name of Jesus. We pray that you give us the insights for today's class, you teach us today's class, you give us the wisdom we need for today's class. For in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Okay, guys, that's okay. We started out something last class. We entered into building of navbar, of which we're able to build one. Then we jumped into uh, building of which we're not able to build one and get that. Sorry, I forgot. We just built, showed us how the navbar would look like, but we did not actually go deep into it. So today we are going to be building a navbar. Not only just building a navbar, we'll be showing you guys how to build different kind of navbar, a two-column navbar, a single column navbar, a multiple column navbar, and all that and all that. So we'll be showing you guys four column navbar. So you guys will just get that embedded in your mind, and we'll be showing you guys how to do a hero section, and not just how to do a hero section. I'll be using uh we'll be using uh a a Figma file to teach you guys this. Why am I using a Figma file to teach you guys this? It's easy to use a link and just to build a project for us. But I'm showing you guys because majority of your projects will come from that. So what I will do, I will build a navbar, a hero section, and we'll build think just two aspects of that. If there is time, we'll try and be fast and build just two sections additional. Then we'll go into another project that looks the same and just build three sections. And I will leave the remaining sections for us to complete. Just the desktop. Maybe next class will come in and do the responsiveness. I want to see people that are willing to go deeper and just try something for themselves. So that when we come back in next class, we'll show you guys more beyond that. That will be on Thursday. Okay, that will be on Thursday. So we'll be showing you guys a lot. So, but as it's going to be, maybe we might be shifting tomorrow's on Thursday's class to tomorrow due to some certain reasons. So we might have another class tomorrow, and I will definitely say that on the group. So we'll be having another class tomorrow, and maybe we uh might be having a break next week due to the festive period. So let's just get ourselves prepared. So we'll just do some things today and do responsiveness on tomorrow so that you guys can get used to it. Then I will give you guys assignments this weekend. So that is what we are going to be doing. So I'll give you guys assignment this weekend. So let's get ourselves prepared. I think we are good to go. I think from January we're going to building of JavaScript projects. So let's go. Let's not really waste more time. We'll have a lot of time and we'll have a lot of things to do today. So, guys, if you're prepared, you know the first thing to always do, open your VS Code. If you are prepared to go with me, open your VS Code. If you are prepared to go with me, open your VS Code. And for those that came in and you have not been watching the previous class, you are doing yourself a big harm. The best thing to do at this point is to open your the previous classes we have done if you don't understand some things and go through it yourself and just try and go through it. And while going through it, make sure your laptop is close by because our previous class is too rich. And if you don't go through the previous class, if you don't do yourself the benefit of going through the previous class, you might miss out. You might miss out. So let's dive into what we have. We talked about external file, CSS file. Please, if you're joining a class and you don't really understand some things, please try and ask. Try and ask. And if you have gone through the previous class and you're still having issues uh with any of our classes, please try and ask. Try and ask. Let me be sure that we are actually live. Let me be sure. Okay. Think we are live. Hello? Okay. Think we are live. So, excuse me. Okay. So this is what we want to build. Let's just go through it. So by building the nav bar, we'll show you guys how to build different kind of nav bar. Then we'll build the hero section. I'll build this. Then we'll go into building another store that I always like giving my students to look at. So we'll get that together. W3 school, W3 school, W3 school. And please don't forget, what we are giving you guys is a project kind of uh, training, so that when you guys go out there, you guys are going to be standing out. So you're going to build this. I think you're just going to build the nav bar, the hero section, and we'll build this aspect. So I'm going to leave, maybe if there is time, we'll build this aspect too. Then I'm going to leave the remaining aspects for you guys to complete. Let's just go through it. If there is time, we'll go through this. If there is no time, we might shift it to next class, which is tomorrow. Sorry for the changes. And then make everything responsive to. So let's start immediately. Let's start. So let me run this. So this is what we have from this Figma file. Let me open my paint that I used to draw. So guys, there are different kind of nav bar. We have single column nav bar. We have double column nav bar, triple column, depending on what the design looks like. So let me just draw something for us so we'll see. So this might have your details here. This is like single column, and you might have your details here, and you might have your details here. This is double column. You might have some, maybe your logo here, some details here, then login and sign up here. This is triple column. So if possible, you might see four aspects, four column, but I don't think there is any website I've seen four. If you see four, then there is a reason why they drop four for us. But let's go through what we have and just do something. So currently now, God has helped us. We are now using an external file for our CSS, which is the best way to write your code. So what we did in our last class, the first and foremost thing to always do when writing your let me increase my. So the first and foremost thing to do when writing your code for your external file or internal file is to always put your universal selector. This asterisk here means universal selectors. So it automatically selects that whole page. So this style means is going for the universal selector. That means it's affecting every single line, every part of that page you are attaching this style file to. So that is what the universal selector does. And this is the body. I told you guys you can, in terms of writing CSS, you can actually use the elements, you can use your ID with your class. And put in mind that the body is an element. When let's go and look at it, you will see it here. You can see the body. It's an element. That is why I actually added background color to it. So that is for that one. So now the first thing we are going to do in today's class is to do something that we have not done before, which is adding fonts. Then we'll come back and look at the different kind of nav bars, columns nav bar we can do. We'll do the three aspects. Then we'll go into making the nav bar look exactly the way it is. Then we'll go to the hero section, then we'll go to the other section. Then we speed up immediately to the other project I told you guys we'll just do today also. We'll try as much as possible to take our time today and do it so that tomorrow which we'll be having on that class. We will take our time also and do the responsiveness, which will not take us more time. If we have more time, we'll do other things too and do the responsiveness. So let's go, guys. So the first thing we are going to do today is to add our forms. Now, you can see that the website that we are building, this is the website we are supposed to build. Or you can see what we open. This is how it's, where is it? Where, okay, you can see this is what we open. And the fonts, this is Time Roman, which is the default font now. But we don't want to use Time Roman, we want to use the font that we feel looks well for her. Because one major thing about websites, many people might not tell you that this, but put in mind your font. You see your font, your color, your spacing makes your website looks unique. If you don't know how to put a good color to your website, don't know how to mix your colors, your website, that's why we have UI designers or product designers that gives you the feel how the website will look like in the best form before you come in as a developer. But a developer can still go ahead and say, I want to build it myself. Okay, build it yourself. But when building it yourself, make sure you pick the best fonts. Make sure you pick the best color. Make sure you pick the best spacing. Those things makes your website looks unique. Hope I'm still live, okay? Those things makes your website looks unique. And if at any point in time you miss out for at this point, if at any point in time you miss out on these things that I just told you guys now, believe me, your website will look horrible. It might look good for you at the start, but when somebody that is good look at it, or when the world looks at it, they will start grading your website as a novice website. So let's go direct to look at fonts. Where can you get your fonts? Go to fonts, fonts, fonts.google.com. Now, fonts.google.com. Now, there is something I installed on my laptop or my browser, an extension I added on my browser that can give me the fonts. Maybe I want to copy somebody's website. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, let's take for instance this website I just opened for us. This one I opened now. This template I opened. Now you can see, how will I know the font of this? If it's for this Figma file now, I will know the font. If it's for this Figma file, I'll just have to click on this one, and I will see the font. You can see the font here. This is the font being used. So this is the font I'm using. I will just go to my Google. So I don't think this is here. Okay, Google does not really have this font. So I'll pick another one that I think will look nice. Or I might just come here, maybe look for another. So it's the same thing. Now let me just pick another font. Ah, uh, little, little. Okay, let me pick this one. I actually love this font very well. So I'll pick this font for my font. But now, before we come into picking the font, now let's look at this. I can easily know the fonts. You can see for Figma file, I was able to know the fonts. After clicking on the font, I saw the font and I saw the font family. You can see the font family here. But now for this is a project. How can I know the font of any website? I installed an extension called What's Fonts. You can see it. Just go to your uh, uh, to your Chrome extensions and just look for what font, WHATFONT, what font. I'm really like use that what once I click on it here, you can see that. Let me click on it now. Once I click on it, I come here, it automatically tell me the font that this website is using. You can see Vandana. this is the font the website is using, Vandana. So I'll just come here and just type Vandana. Okay, Vandana. I just let me change this to E. So okay, it's not yet too. So and once you can't see the font of that website, that means the font is a custom font they made for the website. So you have to make sure you look for font similar to that. So I might just come to Google and say fonts similar to Nana fonts family. So you might get something you can see. I've gotten something similar. You can see font similar to that from source. So you can see font similar to that. You can see them now. So you can use Korea, you can use Gorgeous, all of them are similar. You can use uh, Latino. So I can just come here and just type. So in case you can't find it again, also, I think I can find this one also. But not to waste our time, I just like using this other one. So let me show you guys how to add fonts so that will not waste much time in today's class in just doing one thing. I want us to do a lot of things. So sorry guys for that. So what I would do, make sure you don't have, you can see currently I have font family attached. I will have to remove all the fonts I have attached so that the selected family, so that it will not affect what I'm selecting. So now I'll just come and pick them, the font width I will want for my font. So I'll just pick them so that in case I increase the boldness, it will also affect the font. So depending on the amount of the kind of boldness you want to be using for your, but me, I just like picking everything so that in case I want to turn it to italic, I'll have to have that privilege to do that. So you can just pick everything if you want to. If you don't want to, you can leave the remaining. So now once you are done selecting the font you want to use, you can just click here. You will see the fonts for you will see all the fonts that you just selected. You can see them here. So what will I do? Now there are two ways. You can either use this and put it in your CSS on top of your CSS. Some persons prefer using this. So I'll just copy this. But me, I prefer using the link. I don't know. I prefer using the link for me, I prefer using the link. So you can just come here. But this now will be that anytime you want to create another CSS, you have to copy this and also paste it on a different CSS also. So you'll be pasting this you'll be pasting this on all your CSS, this as import URL. You're pasting it at all your CSS, and which is not really good for me. For me, okay, because I use React these days. It's same thing as your link because you'll be pasting it in all your HTML files too. But that is not for notwithstanding, we can use anyone we want to. If you want to be using this and pasting it on all your CSS, fine. But me, I would just prefer to use the link for myself. I just prefer using the link. So I'll copy this, can click, or you can just click copy anyone that suits you. Then you come to your HTML. Inside the header, you can just paste it. Inside the head element. You can see it inside this head element. Inside the head element. And that is where to paste it. So with this now, I'll go to my CSS now and enter the body. I will just copy this also. You can paste it inside here, or you can paste it inside the body, but I prefer paste my own inside the body. Anyone, you can paste it here. If you don't do this, if you don't put the font family, put it like this, your font will not reflect. The font family indicates that yes, your font will be reflecting. So with this now, if I check my code again, you will see a different look. You can see the different look. The font comes out differently now. And if you look at it before, let me comment this aspect now, and let's look at it. You can see the way it is now, jam packed, and the font is not sitting well for me. So I'll just do this, and it will sit well for me now. You can see that the font changed in look. And as I told you, your font is uh is going to make your website look good. So your font is going to make your website look good. Your color is going to make your website look good, and your what's it called again? Your spacing. So now let's go into building our nav bar. Different kind of nav bar. We'll come into that. So the first one we're going to build, though we are still going to make use of this Figma. This is what we are following. We are making use of this Figma. We're just going to make use of this and look at this and look at this. So, but the first kind of nav we are going to be building is this. Maybe I'm just going to put our this maybe logo or any other thing here. Then we'll come and build two column. Then we'll try and build three column. Then we are done with navbar. And we'll try and start what we are building. We'll try and start what we are building and make it look the same way it is before, the same way it is in the Figma. So guys, let's continue. So we are going to be building, like I told you, we have succeeded in structuring the navbar. Fine. We have succeeded in putting our logo, and we've said in dividing structure in the best way. Now it's for us to make it look sweet, so that when somebody look at it, he or she will know that this is a nav bar. This is a unique nav bar. So now what are we going to do? We are going to attach. Let's look at where we are. So we succeeded in our last slide in building this. So let's first of all remove the background color purple. I don't really like that. Let's move this and just leave it white. Let's leave it like this. So it's kind of white now. This is a white background, of which I love very well. And let me remove this border here. Or let me just put it so we can explain what we have. So now, what are we going to do with this now? Let's we look at this now. This is our parents class. This is our parents class, which is what we are using here. And I told you, if you are styling with class, you're using dots. If you're styling with ID, you're using hash. So for me, I've always preferred to use class, because class I can use it in multiple places. So what will I do now? What I will do is to what I will do now is to do the single column nav bar. So it's easier to do a single column nav bar. Let me just comment this one, comment the content here. So you can see that this is a single column nav bar. Let me just do same for you. Okay. Let me comment this and uncomment this. So we can see that it's a single column nav, but let me comment this also. So by just adding the content into your parent nav bar, into your parent div of the nav bar, you will see the single column now, but you can see where it's sitting now. It's sitting here. So that is what a single column nav bar is. So let's go to multiple column nav bar, depending on how we want it to look like. So this is it. This is a multiple column nav bar. You can see now we just want the space to be here. If we decide not to put the space, remember if we don't want to put the space, I can remove this aspect of justify content space between. I taught you guys in our last class, and it can still look well like as it is now. Are you getting me? So, but if I put this justify content space between, it will have the space. That justify content is having a huge or a lot of properties we can use to make our websites come out good. So but put in mind that when you're putting justify content or align item, you must use this display flex. You must be able to use that. Went through our previous class, they are the ones that are going to enjoy this class very well. So now I can do triple column navbar because of the fact I added that justify content in our navbar. For the fact that I added this justify content in our navbar, I'm going to, if I put the justify content here, and let me say I add another div here, maybe another column, right? Then you will see that I have three columns. One, two, three. So I'm doing, okay, let's take for instance, let me remove, let me remove this login here. And let me remove this here so that the login will be the one at the end. So that it will look somehow good. You can see. Now we have our logo, our links, and we have our login and sign up here. You can see how it is now. So this is a three-column navbar. So because of I just added this, because of I since I've added justify content space between, I don't need to do much again. So what I just need to do is, if I want to add on that column, I will not really do much again also. If I add on that column again, let's take for instance, copy this and let me add it here. You will see automatically it will space itself. If I continue to add this four column now, this five column, it will space itself. If I continue to add, it continue to space itself and give us the nav bar we are looking at. So you can see that our nav bar is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So but we don't actually need 5. We just need, for our Figma, we need only 2. But I want to use this to explain to us that we can do that. So, and as you are building your code, try and be structuring your CSS so that when it goes big, it will be easier for you to flow. So we have our two column, which is we are following this now. Have our two columns. So the next thing we are going to do is to, you can see this is looking like this, and this is looking like this. So let's go into the styling. So, but what I will do for this, my CSS, is I'll put something like flex between, because I know maybe some part of my code might need this flex between. So I will not want to be writing it always. Like so, I will not want to be writing display flex in every write align item center, justify content. So I'll just put this here. So you will see that it will scatter my work. But let me just copy this. Like I told you, CSS for class can carry more than one CSS file. So I'll just put this here. So it will work well. So that in case any uh, element wants this display flex, align item, justify content, space between. I will not want to be putting it again. I'll just copy this and paste it there. So let's be structuring our files as we are growing. So the next thing we're going to do is to give, let me remove this from here. We don't really need a div here. Let's just put this here. We don't really need a div here. So it's working fine for us. So what will I do? Let me give this a class nav logo. Let me just give it class logo. So I'll copy this and go to my CSS. Now be putting all this style in your head. So persons can decide to do .nav. Since H2 you have only one H2 header 2. So persons will just put this rather than putting the class name here. So persons will just do this and this will still work fine. Or you can just put the name logo. So whichever one works fine. So whether you put this or you put this, they will still refer to this. Why would they refer to this? Because this is logo for class and which is this. And if I use this is what nav. And the nav has only one H2. If you check inside this nav now, you will not be seeing any H2 here. So it just affects only this one. So you can use any one of them. So the first thing we're going to do, let's go to our Figma file. I'm teaching you guys how to use Figma file now. Click here and you will see the styles for this Figma, for this class, for this logo. So the first thing we see our font, which is 25 pixel. I'll come here and put font size 25 PS. You can use rem, but since we are using, you can see pixel here, so I'll just use the pixels to be fast. So when you come here now, you see a different look. And also you can decide to use so I'll just put the color. Whenever you see this color, it means is you are kind of adding color to your font. So font size is to give the font a size. While color is to give the font. Color is basically for fonts. Is to give the font or any maybe logo and all that. So I'll give the font black because it's black we are seeing there. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you can say black. And then I'll give what? Font width is very, very important. Font width. Font width. That is why I added different kind of font width for us. So is what 900 that we have. So I'll put it and I'll come as I'm doing that, I'm looking at my code. You can see it's affecting the font width. So that is basically that we need for now. Put these three in your mind, font width and all that. So there's another one, line height, but the line height is normal. So I'll just put this in my mind now. So we have succeeded in giving this. So now you can see the way this looks, black and green. So how am I going to now give this time here in green? So that is very easy. You can just come here. There's I told you guys about inline elements. And one inline element we are going to be using is span, which is the major inline element you see in everybody's code. Span. It will not affect what you have. Span will not. That's why they call it inline element. It will not affect what you have here. It will not disturb what you have. Please, as you are watching, be coding with me. It's very, very important you code with me so you can be grabbing what I'm doing. We are doing a project-based uh, 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 program for you guys. So the only way to do it, you get your laptop. Even if you don't follow now, go later, follow the class with your laptop, follow it step by step, so that you are coding, you are getting used to what you are doing. You are getting used to what we are doing. We are going to spend a lot of time today. We might go for a break and come back and just try and see whether we can finish something in some major core aspects and just do multiple stuff. So put that in mind. We might spend more than 2 hours. So now we have time here. So I've said in putting this. So what will I do? Now, like I said, you can do what is called, you can use this or you can write your logo. Then what will I do? I'll come down again and put dot nav. But when you're using this, make sure that H2 is the only thing inside the nav, inside the parents, which is the nav, is the only one there. If it's not the only one, don't go and say you're using this. You can use logo. Let me just use logo in case you have seen that one. It makes your work look neat. But if you know that maybe you'll be having multiple H2 inside the nav, you can just use logo and just put what's called I just put now I will not put the span. You can see it. Then I'll come down and look at this. You can see this. Then the major thing I'll take is this color. Color this. So that once we come to our code now, you will see that this is looking black and this is looking green. So we have succeeded in getting this. And you can see this space around this is from here. You can see the padding. That is what we call padding. I taught you guys padding. So the padding is the ones giving this. And I taught you guys just using double padding. Can write bottom top, bottom, all those things are good, but I don't really like it. I just like putting my partner in a single line. So this is it. So you can put the padding now. So we are succeeded in doing the logo aspect. Let's still look at it. You can see that the space here, the space between here and here is different. We have 125. You can see 120. Now you are looking at it. If you're not seeing this demarcation on your own after clicking on this part, use what is called hold your alt key. Hold your alt key. You will see the spacing. So always use this spacing. I can see that if I let me click on this, let me click on this, let me just click here and just so okay, I have 125 left, 125 right. So I'll put 125 here, 125 for left and right. You can see now, you see that the spacing comes in left and right. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look at the top and the bottom. We have 40, so I'll just use 21, 21. Because it's not consistent on that. The Figma guy is not consistent on that. So I use 21. You can see my nav bar is now big. Let me reduce it. I don't really like something that looks big. Let me reduce it to 15. So this looks good to me. This looks good to me. So let's come to the next place, which is this aspect. Let's start this aspect. I want to start this aspect to look the same way we have it on the Figma. Then we'll come down to this aspect. So if you don't have this image, you can try to download it if you want to. So, or you can just look for any image at all that looks well for you. You can just look for any image at all that looks well for you. So let's continue. I just want to check, okay? So now we have products, how it work, donate. Now let me come down to my code. Let me go to the HTML. So you can see that how it work. All these ones are links. All these ones are links. I will not be talking about structuring again. I'm just talking about styling it. If you want to know much about our structuring, you will have our videos there. We talked about structuring very well. So you can go and look at our code, our previous class, and learn structuring. So that is why I say always follow our class so that you will not be left. Those that are following that have been following the class now might not be left out. So if you're not been following the class, you'll be left out. So try and follow up. So I want to add another link so that I can have it look well for me. How dot HTML. So mm, how H2. Let me just put this. I thought you guys see. I'm creating on that page now. This on that page. Let me link it here now. Href. I taught you guys about this. If you are like, confused, you can just look for our previous class and look at it. So now we have succeeded in doing this. So we have our links here now. So let's tie them now. So we have this. So let me give this a class also. Class, I'll give this, I'm giving this a class and I'll give it what? Nav links. If you go and use tutorial might start using, maybe you go online and find tutorial on how to build a nav bar. You now start saying something like on ordered list UL or ordered list OL to build your nav bar. Those things are good, but I really look at them as old style. Old style of building a nav bar. So now I've succeeded in adding class to this now. So let me look at this aspect. Okay, you can see our sub nav bar. So I will take this out also and create what is called flex align center and paste it here so that in case any other project want to use this, or sorry, any other element want to use this, I will not be writing it again inside the element. Imagine we're writing this inside this element, writing this inside another element, writing inside another element, and writing it inside. So you see, anything I know is possible, I will use it in any element. I try to put them as universal so that I will just have to be calling only the class name and it will just sound well for me. So I will not be repeating them, repeating. So I'm teaching you guys professional way of building projects. So don't misuse this period. Get it and get it now. So I'll just have only the gap inside here and you can see it works well. So now let's go down to having this class. So I'll just take this. So what I will do now for this one, I might give it gap. Now, for a fact, because of I have been, let's just put the gap first. Let me show you guys something. Gap 20 pixel. Don't forget to put your 20 pixel. Are you seeing that the gap is not working? Gap is not working. Why? Because gap itself works with flex. That's why I say you guys cannot do without flex. Let me push this to the front. Let me take this. You guys cannot do without flex. So now what will I do? I'll just go come here and put something like dots. Flex. Dots flex. And I'll put display flex. Since flex is something I'm going to be using always, I try to make sure I put the flex that I'm going to be using differently. So I'm going to put here, let me just put at the front, flex, and see what will happen. Now you can see the gap has been attached. But if I remove this flex, the gap will go. So gap itself works with flex. So just giving something gap itself works with flex. So I couldn't have made this give, I couldn't have gotten this gap attached to this space if I hadn't added this gap. So now let me just come here and look at it and just look at the gap itself. So this is 25. So I'll come here and put 25. The gap is 25 pixel. How did I know? How do I know? So once I click here, I try to hold my Alt key, and you see the gap showing 25. If I click here and hold my Alt key, you see the gap showing 25. So that is it. So you can see, I'm trying to show you guys how to use Figma file. So you can go online, look for Figma files, and just start or create your Figma account. Make sure you create a Figma account and go and search for Figma files and just try to navigate the way I'm navigating. Free Figma files. So now I'll come and just use this and attach to the A tag, because now let's go back to our HTML. You see this is attached and we only have this. I don't want to be styling them differently. I just want to style them together. So I'll come here and just attach the A. And the first thing I'll do, the first and foremost thing I always do for my A tag, as we are going, we are understanding the code. The first and foremost things I always do for my A tag, for my link tag, is to what? Disable the decoration. You can see there's decoration. Once I click here, you can see they're looking differently. So I'll do text decoration. No. So if I do text decoration none, okay, so you're putting text decoration none. You can see the underline is not there. So it's working. Text decoration none is working. So now let's come down and put uh let's go and look at the way the font is here. So let me just click on one. I clicked on one and the color is black. I'll put color. That hash this means black. This means black. You can see it here. Three zeros. So try as possible to follow what the UI said. You can put it six zeros or three. Anyone works well. So they are still saying black. So you can see that we have succeeded in removing that default star and make all of them look unique. So let's come down to this again. And the main reason I can be able to give this a double column nav bar that you are seeing is because of I was able to use Flex and I explained it in our last class. But if you don't understand, you can just indicate. If you are in the class and you don't understand, you can indicate. Or if you watch the class and you don't understand, you can comment on the video and say, I don't really understand. Mention the part and I will explain to you. Or if you're part of this program, you can come to any of our communities and just drop it there that you don't understand or chat me up directly if you have my WhatsApp number. So that is it. So this is what we have. This is what we have. And if you are joining us, if you're just seeing this video and you are not part of the program, uh, you can see my, let me, and you want to still reach out to me. Okay, you want to still reach out to me, 0810576815. I'm sending my number on the chat. That's my number if you want to reach out to me. So somebody said, how can I download it? Download what? Like, let me get you. Okay, I can't see the code well. So okay, like, are you seeing it clearly now? If you're not seeing it clearly, can you just send tell me that you can see it clearly again. Let me increase my fonts. Okay, I think this will be clearer. If you are seeing it, it's fine now. So this is my number attached. You can chat me up on WhatsApp if you still want to get more clarity. So now let's continue. So we are still inputting this. Now let's go to uh, Figma. And we have font of 20 pixel. You can see the font here, 20 pixel. So I'll put font size 20 pixel. So font size automatically increase the font size that we need. So if you are not seeing the code, Kelvin, you can still send a chat so that we can know that yes, you are not seeing the code, or if you are seeing the code, can you send the chat that yes, I'm seeing the code. So now let's go to and see again, what do we need? Font weight. Font weight. So font weight is very, very important. Font weight 400. That is 400, yeah. So now let's come to our code and see. You can see the way it is now coming out the way it's supposed to come out. Don't worry, all this will look good to us. We're just trying to make sure we we have already structured everything here. So when coming to the styling, it's not going to look bad for us. So now you can see this now. Now the next thing you're going to do is to style the login and the sign up. So let's come down to that. So this is in a different div, different from this one. That is why you are seeing the gap here from here. So that is why where structuring comes into play. You will not touch structuring if you want to know HTML and down to React. You will not touch structuring. Structuring is very, very important. So if you haven't watched our previous video on structuring, you will do yourself a big harm to continue from here. Go back there, watch it and understand. If you don't understand it, ask questions so that you get it. So when you come here, you don't really need to be looking at what is this guy doing. So that is why I said watch our previous videos. So the next thing we're going to do is to design this. So let's come down to that. Let me just put a class. And what will I call it? Nav off. I'll call it nav off. So once I come down here, I look at nav auth, and do I have to put flex? Mm, I'll just take this flex align center so that once they will be in the same. Okay, let me not put flex so we'll see what I'm saying. So what will I do now is to what will I do? The first thing I will do is they both have a kind of unique styling, just that this background color is different. So they both have a kind of unique styling. So what will I do? I'll just click here and give this the unique styling they both have. Then I'll come down to this and add it to that other one. So what will I do? Since they both have a unique style in terms of text, then I'll just take this button and I'll come here and just put, don't worry about this first of all. So I'll create our gap. So I'll put this nav alt. Then I'll put my space and put button so that I will not be writing for login. I will not be writing for sign up. So I just have to put this. Then I'll come here and say font size 20 also. Font size 20 pixel, font weight. So it's just basically the same thing here. So color the same thing. So I just going to pick what is here and paste it here. So you can see the same thing. What is here is what I'm putting there. So you can still also separate the font. Like since this is here and this is here, you can decide to create just a thing, just like the way I'm creating for this now, for this flex. You can decide to just create your own and just continue like that. So now, if you look at it clearly, we are succeeded in giving it a unique color. So now I want to always remove outline on your button. You might not know it how to do that, but just always remove your outline on your button so that so that in case there is some browser might carry it along. So not for you to come in and when you click you or when you want to do something, you now see a black border. Most times it's on the most times it's attached to. So most times it's attached to the an input, but we can just remove that in case any browser. Remember, because of you build this website, you're not going to be telling your users, okay, go to only Chrome and use it. Don't go to Microsoft Edge. Don't go to Internet Explorer. Don't go to Opera Mini. Don't go to Firefox. So you just have to separate it yourself by making it look good on all browsers. So after removing this, I will now put border none. You can see that color that is round it is border. So I don't want the border. So you can see now it's out. I don't really like border for it now. Except if the Figma, but you can see the Figma did not add Figma did not add border. But sometimes if you put this, you now see border here, but there is no border here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're just trying to put a unique universal arrangement on this. So I'm going to now remove okay, border radius. Border radius, what does border radius help us to do? Border radius help us to create that round. You can see this round. Let me just can see this round shape, something like a round shape. That's what border radius helps us to do. So once I click it now, you see it here. The root is border radius 10 pixel. So I'm going to add my own 10 pixel here. So the next thing I'm going to do is to I don't need to add background here. So this is it. So this is it for us. This is it. This is it. So you can see. So now I will remove the background color for this one. Background color transparent. Background color transparent. Background color transparent. That's what I'm going to add. So what are we going to do next now? Let's look at our Figma. Make sure your Figma is the one guiding you. Don't really look at the time. We have enough time today to just play around. So don't really uh, get scared about this. So you guys might have to do this. I think that will be the best. You guys might have to do it for me, and I'll come to next class, which is tomorrow. Uh, this will just be as an assignment, not to bug you guys. You can try it and do it by your own. Then tomorrow we'll try and start today. Then tomorrow we'll try and complete it. Then do our responsiveness, so that you guys will see how to do responsiveness on all screen size. Then I think that is all for CSS that we are going to be doing. And I'll just give you guys an assignment, a take home assignment for you guys to see. So what am I going to do now? So we have succeeded in removing all the style here. So you can see that they are bit close. I don't really like that they are bit close. So I'm going to so let's just give this padding 35 pixel. Um, let me just it up and down 35 pixel side. So you can see that this first one, I just give it this one does not really have this style. Yeah, so I will not really give it style, just give it a space. I'll just space them. So you can see 25 is the space between them. So I'm going to come here and put my gap. But I've added my flex, so 25 pixel. So you can see that the gap come into play. It's not coming into play. Why? Let's check if we added our flex. Okay, there is no flex. I'll take this now. You can see now that the flex is not there. So I'll take this and add. So I've got in my space. So now it's for us to start the sign up. So it will look like this. So it will look like this. So how are we going to do that? Let's just style it now. So let's click on it, and you can see we have clicked on it. So I'm going to put background color now. So I'm going to come here and just put uh dot selected button, nav button, dot selected nav button. Try and use names that you can remember. Like you can see I'm trying to give it the name that looks well. Don't go and give your CSS any kind of name, and at the end of the day, you get confused. And you maybe you're working for a company and you're trying to give your CSS one kind name, they might sack you. Seriously. So just try as much as possible to give your CSS a name that looks well and sound well for you. So this is it now. What will I do? I'm going to give you background color. Background color. This thing that is the same thing for it. Okay, they're not the same thing. No. So I'm going to change this. So make sure you try and follow what the Figma is. Okay, they're the same thing. Okay, they're the same thing. They're the same thing. Sorry for that. Make sure you try and follow what the Figma is telling you. So they're the same thing there. So you can see I've succeeded in putting this. So the next thing I'm going to do now, you can see we're taking our time to just do this. So you guys should just try as much as possible to follow through and get this done. So we will not uh so just be following what I'm doing. As you are seeing it, be following it, you get used to it. So I'm going to be giving you guys assignments and classwork and take home assignments from your dashboard from now because I've taught you guys how to host freely. I've taught you guys how to do a lot. So now it's time for us to know how to use it, know how to implement what we have learned. So now we have added this. So what are we going to add again to this? Let's look. So we're going to add 35 pixels for padding. So I'm using double column padding. So the up and down is 8 pixel and the left and right is 35 pixel. So let's look at it and see again. So this is not sitting well for us. Why is it not affecting this? Mm, Let's see. What's important? Sorry, background color. We're correct. Why this not showing? Let me just add this color first. So the color is white. So you can see that the color is white inside. So I will put the text color. So I put color, it means that I'm giving the color for the text inside. So the color is white. So I'll just put 6 or 3 Fs. It means white. So let's see if it affects this. It has not affected it yet. So there's one thing I always do. If it's not affecting it, I will check if it's actually from me or from. So I'll just come here and just select this. You can see, so you can see that this is here. So it seems this is actually affecting it. If I remove this now, okay, that is affecting it. I will also let me remove this. It's also affecting it. This parent aspect is affecting it. So I'll remove this for this parent. So what are we going to do to make it not to affect it? What are we going to do now? Is just going to we're going to copy this now. Let's copy this and see. Still not affecting because of this. So the parent wrapper is affecting it. So that is why. Okay, let's just because of we added this. I think we have given it a this. Okay, let's give it a style. Nav button. So let's put this here. So let's just put this nav button and just put class so that it will not affect it and just put this in front of this so that This one will override this. So I will save this now. I will save this. You can see it works now. Why did we do like that? So that this one will override what this one has. So that is why I had to add this and add this here. So that both I use the parent is overshadowing what is inside. So that's why I'm not saying that. And I don't want to write some styles again. So you can see we're succeeded in getting our nav bar the way it looks here. So let's see if we can add more space 45. So the space for this the space between these two now is 45. So what is happening them is what is holding the both of them is subnav. Let's look at our subnav 45, not 55, 45. So this is it. So we have a quality loop. So let's remove this. Okay, let's leave this now. The next place we're going to be going to now. I've taught you guys now how to put, for the fact that I'm using display flex for the parent of everything here. I'm using, so I can easily do a double column navbar, a triple column navbar, and all that. So now I've taught you guys that. So you guys should try and follow for that. So the next thing we're going to be doing is we are going to be going to our hero section. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do different kind of hero section. So the first and the most used way of doing a hero section, which is the most simpler aspect, is using a background called a background image attached to the CSS. Attached to what CSS. So let me first of all get this image. Let me first of all get this image. Export, and I'll export it in PNG as the most highest. Now, always export, if you're exporting in in PNG, make sure you increase the quality to 4x. If you're exporting in SVG, you don't need to increase, SVG is automatically increased. So I'm going to be importing in PNG, so I'm going to increase it now to 4x. So when I look at, I'll preview it to see if this is what I want, and I'll export. So I've succeeded in exporting this. So I'm going to go to my code now. So let me go to my download. I will see the image there. So I'm going to export, okay, cut the image out and go back to my folder. And don't forget, I told you guys that I'm putting on my image in assets. So you can have images, you can have icons and all that. So you can see we have icons in this project. So I'm going to just create what is called new folder and put images. This, I'm trying to structure, sorry, image is not image. So I'm trying to structure my folders to look the way I want it to look. So it will look neat. If somebody sees it, the person will understand that. Then I'm going to create another folder for icons. Icons. So I hope there is no message coming in. Okay. There is none. And please, if you're not following through, you can just ask any question you want to ask. If you are confused in any way, you can ask your questions. If you are confused in any way, you can ask your questions. So if you are confused in any way, you can ask your questions. So now let's continue. So so now I've succeeded in removing the image. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to teach you guys, even if you are using image directly, how to still do it to work well. If you are using so that you can use any, you can see the way we are going. I've succeeded in teaching you guys how to create multiple column navbar. By just using the flex itself, you have your multiple column navbar. So now I'm going to teach you guys how to use different kind of uh your hero section, so that when you guys are doing these assignments for me, you might not have a difficult aspect in terms of that. So you can see, now let's put our background image. So let's come to our hero section. We have done justice in arranging the structure. Now let's just come and put class hero section, hero, and go to my CSS file. So I'm going to attach. I always like adding nav section. So nav section beginning, nav section ending, so that I can easily differentiate where it starts and where it ends. So I'm going to put this hero section beginning. You guys might be wondering, why how am I doing my own very fast? Control forward slash will do it for you, comments for you. So I'm going to put my hero section now. So the first thing I'm going to do is to put my background image. Background image. So if I put my background image, the next thing I'm going to put is URL. Then this is my URL. I'm going to locate where it is. Sorry, one slash. Then images. Then what? Euro slash image. When you come here, you might not see it, but it's showing, it might not be showing very well. So the next thing I'm going to do is to find the height. So you can see that I've succeeded in getting my height. What is the height? The width is, you don't really need to worry about your width. Okay, the height is 697. So, but there are many ways to give your image a height. So I'll just put width 100%. 100%. So I can start to use percentage to give my hero section a height. So I'll just use height uh 60%. I'm coming to, okay, it has not really entered. Let's look at it clearly. It has not entered yet. So let's look at what we have. Let's give it 100%. So now, percentage is not really working well for me. Let's use 60 view height. Now, VH means it will take 60 percentage of your view. You can see it will take 60 percentage of your view. So let me make it 80% of my view. But view height is good. But when some persons will not, there's a client I did this for. What did the client do? The client came and started doing something like this. So the client was trying to look at what you are doing, and this will shrink what is here, what is inside. If you're using view height, it's going to shrink what is inside of it. So rather than using view height sometimes, it's still good to use, you can see 697.4. That is my pixel. So I'm just going to use 697.4 pixel. And let's see how it will look. So let's remove this. This is it. This is the look. This is the look. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to, don't worry about how it is. So I'm going to do background repeats. There are some things I'm going to arrange. No repeats. Why am I putting no repeats? So that it will not repeat what is here. Like it will not be, but if you put repeats, watch what repeats will do. Repeat is going to create the image multiple times. You are not noticing it in here now, but you notice it that it's there are some incidents. Once you start styling, you start noticing that it's creating the image multiple times. But I don't really like it. Sometimes you just to avoid browser issue. So I tend to remove that. So the next thing I'm going to do is background position center. So I want to position it at the center so that it will look, everything will be centered, oriented. So then I will do background size cover. Let me use cover, background size cover. So you can see we have gotten our image. You can see it. So we have successfully put what we have here now. So you can use background size contain if you want to. So it will try and bring everything about the image to suit inside. You can see it wants to bring everything about the image. It wants you to see the image itself, everything. Not, but I don't really like that. So that's why I prefer to use cover. So you can see cover will just cover everything, and it might lost some space, some extra part of the image, but it does not really matter. So that is what we have now. So you can see we have succeeded in doing our hero section. So let me remove this border that we have here. It's still showing. So you can see we have succeeded in doing our image, our hero section. So now let's come down to the hero section aspect now. Put this is a universal way of doing a hero section. For that is when you're using background image. That's when you're using what? Background image. I'll still show you guys how to use image, but now when using image, it's going to look differently. You're going to be styling differently. I'm going to style it that way. I'm going to do that for us. Then we'll understand the two aspects. Whichever one suits well for you, fine. You can use it. So now, so whichever one suits well for you, you can use it. Not regarding that this is here, this is here. Just use the one that suits well for you. So now let's come down to this. So the next I'm going to do, since this is a div, put that in mind. Since this, that's why I intentionally put this div. Some person might not understand why I put this div here. Since this is a div, but you might decide to remove these ones. Sorry. You might decide to remove this one. Just use it because of structuring. I decide to remove these ones. We don't really need these ones. Inside. We don't really need these ones. We don't really need these ones. We don't really need these ones. But since this is a div now, since this is a div, so since this div is wrapping this aspect, I can intentionally center this myself. You can see the way it is here now. It's centered. So how am I going to center it now? That is where our flex comes into play. Stop joking with flex. Flex is very, very powerful. You can like when it comes to React Native self, if you're building mobile app with React Native, you can't escape understanding flex. You have to understand flex. Even when you the first time I picked my knowledge of flex, it wasn't hard to understand Flutter. I was able to understand Flutter very fast. So you can't miss out that aspect in what you are doing in web development. So now what will I do? I'm going to center everything using flex. So what am I going to do? Now I'm going to create another flex. Yeah. Okay, let me just write it here first. So display flex, flex, display flex. So align item. Now for the fact that we are using display flex, which is going to automatically put it horizontally for us. Are you getting me? Which is going to put every details inside the content, inside the parents to be horizontally, to work horizontally. But now, the fact that if you look at it, once I put display flex, it will not work horizontally for this one. Let's look at our code. You can see that the code is still the content here is still the same thing, up and down. Because of what? I intentionally added these parents to wrap it. If I put another div here now and put Peter H1 Joshua, if I come to our code, you will see that you can see Joshua is by the side, it's going horizontally. But because of it's just only one, it's not going to indicate that horizontal aspect. You get. So, and these ones are not going to be affected because of what? This one, if you are giving display flex here, is going to only affect its direct children. It's not going to affect the children inside. So let's continue. So what are we going to do now? We're going to just use the display flex. Let's continue with that. And now let's put align item. Align item now works vertically. So I'm going to put center. So what will happen is going to take this to the center now. It took that div to the center, which is working vertically. Align item works vertically. Our website is coming beautiful the way it's supposed to look like. So now I'm not going to use justify content. Justify content works horizontally. I'm going to use center. I've taught you guys about it. So you can see now it's at the center already. It's at the center. So, but I don't like using this. So I'm not going to be writing it in different places because this might appear in another place. This is display flex. Flex is unique. Flex is something that you know you might be using in different places. So I'm going to come here and put flex align, justify, center. So I'm just trying to use something that will look good for me. I'll paste it here. And I will copy this, go to my HTML and paste it here also. So automatically we'll have that. So in case we want to use this same display flex in some in another elements, we'll not have to be writing it again. So this is that for here now. So let's continue our styling. Let's style this. Then we'll come and see how we can use the other pattern of hero section. This is the one we are using now. We are going to see how to use the other pattern then. will go. The other pattern is just like writing image file. So we'll see how to use it. I will continue. So we'll come here and write class now and put hero content. So this is my hero content. So I'm going to come here and go to my hero section where I'm writing my hero section. So you can decide to style your code anyhow that you want to. You can decide to use that same display flex and put them at the center. You can decide to still use this so that your code will be at the center. Okay, let me just see use this. Let me see use this. Let me just use this. Okay, let me what we are going to do now. Let me just write uh text align. Once you use this text align center, it's going to center everything for you. But the problem now is not going to give it the gap you want it to have. So I'm going to have this and I'm going to use this also. But now, if you're using this, it's going to affect this. It's going to put them horizontally. So it's going to push all of them and put them in a horizontal manner. But how am I going to control that? So this might not be for this one. So I'm just going to create something that will have flex column. So flex column. What do I do with flex column? I'm going to do what is called flex direction. Flex direction column. So flex direction column automatically puts it to become to stay in a column wise manner. So I'm going to paste it here. So let's see again. So you can see it has come back to become a column. I explained it in our last slide. If I put flex direction rule, it's going to still stay the same way. But flex on its own by default gives it a rule kind of, which is the flex direction rule. So you can see now, so rather than using this as text align center, I'll just put gap. But I'm going to go and calculate our gap that we have here, first of all. So what is the gap? 82. We have gap 82. 82 pixel. Let's come down to this and see. We have our 82 pixel. So now let's style this. Now, but before we continue, the hero content will give it a width of, okay, let me give it border first so you see what I'm saying. Why I'm giving width. Why I'm giving the width border 1 pixel. I thought you guys had to put border before. Solid red. Let me use red so we'll see what I'm saying. So you can see it's continues to wrap. But now, if you are styling this and this, okay, let me just style this now. So we see what I'm saying. I'm trying to make sure you guys understand it. So I'm going to come down here and put this. So since I'm only having one H3, then I'm going to put the H3 here. Only having one H3 inside the elements, inside this element, so you can see. So that is why I'm using this. So it just affects only the H3 there. So I'm going to go to this aspect and just see. You can see the way this one broke down. But let's see if it will break down for us. So I'm going to put color white. I'm going to put font size 50. And so I'm copying my own. After clicking on it, you see the style here. Font size 50 pixel. Font weight 400. So that is it. And when we come here now, we'll see it that has been affected. But now you see it's not breaking. Why? It's not breaking. But it's giving us what we want. but it's not breaking. What are we going to do now? Let's see. We have to give this a width. Let's give it a width of 40%. Since we have already put this, so we have to have that our align text align center. Text align center will now put it at the center. You can see. So why did we add the width? So that, let me put 50 pixels so we'll see. Why did we add the width? So that it will automatically hold it in a particular range. But if you don't add the width, the more text you add, the more longer it becomes. The more longer it becomes, and it can get longer to this end to end, which that is not what we want. So because of the width now, the width has to structure it and make it fit inside that width. So this is why I added the width. So I think I've explained that to us now. So I'm going to create our button now. Let me remove this so that you guys can see this clearly. Button. I think putting it is still okay, so that you guys can, okay, let me just reduce it. Can know the file I'm working with. So now let's type the button for the hero content. So the first thing is background color. So we can see that have the background color. So let's click on it and see. So the background color is still the same color. This one. Then padding. Border radius 10. Padding we have 67, 13. You can see it here. We'll just copy this. Then color white. Color. This color will affect the text. It will affect the text. Okay. So border radius, no border. Border radius. So you can see now, you can see the border is showing. It's not really looking good. And you can see that border I was telling you, so I have to remove the border now. And let's say, for instance, if I click it, you see that clicking is bringing an outline. So I'm going to remove the border and outline. Border, none. Outline, none. So let's look at it again. You can see that it has been removed. So now let's come down and style the text also. So 2400 white. Font size 20 pixel. Font weight 400. Then we have added color already. So let's look at it again and see how our design will be. So you see, we have succeeded in getting the hero section and the navbar. So now I told you guys I will come down to do another pattern of hero section for us, which some persons must have been waiting for. So let's go down and do that. Then we'll do one more section and we are done for this particular aspect. Then we'll go into trying to see if we can do this. That our time is off, but I will try as much as possible to do this for us. So I'll just do, maybe I will do the nav bar and the hero section. Then we will do other aspect ourselves. I'll try and do the nav bar and the hero section. Then we'll do other aspects. We'll do this aspect. Maybe next class we'll do this aspect soon. Then we'll do these aspects. Then we'll do the maybe we might finish this one and do the responsiveness for both this one and both this one we are doing in our next class. In our next class, I want us to do this so that at least we have touched so many parts of our styling. Then we'll go into building some other things. I think next week might be break. I don't know. I have to talk to my team, so we'll know if we are going to give break or if we are giving break. We are going to give you guys assessments. You get that? So let's continue, guys. So you guys can see how it looks now. Something that was looking awkward. You can see the down part is looking awkward, but it will still come out to be beautiful. So now let's do the other part of Euro section. So this is the Euro section we're talking about now. So let's do the other part. What are we going to do? We're going to create an image like uh image img. So now let me comment what I did here. Let me comment for this Euro section. Let me just remove this. But I prefer this part regardless, but this time I'll teach you guys how to use the other one. So you guys ending will not get lost. When you see somewhere else, you will understand that this is it. So now let me comment this part. So this part is the main part. Let me comment it. So you see that we are not going to be seeing that again. Let me comment this and just put position relative. So now let's put our image and put source src. I'll put one to sorry, one assets. I'll put our image. I'll put this. So this is it. So you can see that it will be scattered now. So now let's style our image. Let's style our image. Let's style our image. I will come here and put class hero image. Hero image. So you might see this somewhere else, so you might not get confused. So these are the main pattern of building a hero section. So what are we going to do now? We're going to just put uh so we're going to put width 100%. So we are putting width 100% using the width of the parent container. I've already given the width of the parent container, we're giving the height. So we're going to use them now. Height 100%. We're going to inherit what we have. You can use inherit if you want to inherit if you want to, but I'll just put 100%. So we have succeeded in putting there. You can see now we have succeeded in doing that. So now let's do something. The next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to remove this. Now this, I'm going to put position for this now. Okay, don't worry about the position first. Then I'm going to put object fit cover. So we are done with this image. But now you can see that the image now is kind of, the text is outside of the image. The content is outside of the image. It's not inside the image at the middle. What are we going to do? We are going to come down here and put what? We are going to come down to the hero content. You can see the hero content here, which is harboring everything here. So we're going to come down there and put position absolute. So with that, we are done. Position what? Absolute. With that, we are done. can see our hero section is still looking the same way. So if you want to see more, you can put border 1 pixel solid red. So you see that it is taking the same look that it is before. Are you getting me? So we have succeeded in still doing the same thing. But in case your own is not really sitting at the middle, you can still use what is called top 50%, and it will sit well. But I've already added width and all that. You can still use, or you can make it top. You can just be arranging it the way you want it to look. Maybe you can just take it to be, well, I've already added center, this flex center, which is this flex justify content to the center, which is making it come to the center. Start putting that positioning. So putting top now, we see I'll just put top 0. I think 0 will work. You will see it will come to, okay, 0 might not work. But you can just, okay, try to arrange it to look to enter the middle that you want it to. I think this will work for you if you want to. Maybe 25 pixel, 25% will work. But I've already used that justify content center, align item center, display flex. So automatically it will take it to the center for me. So that is it. So whichever one that suits well for you, so that you're using an image or you're using the background URL aspect, whichever one that works well for you, fine, you can use any one of them. They are all good. I'm going to leave the code here. Well, let me use this one. And let me comment this one. I'm not removing the code. I'm just going to put it there. So you guys can still use it at any time. And I'll go to my image and comment this. Come back here and comment this. So it's still going to look the same way that we have. It's still going to look the same way that we have. So now the next thing I'm going to do now is to show you guys how to keep this. You can see what is happening here. If I'm scrolling, the nav bar is still working with me. So the first thing I'm going to do, if I want to do that, I'm going to go to my nav parent container. I'm going to put, okay, let me not put it first of all. Let me just put position, position fixed. There's something I want to put before this position fixed, but I'm not putting. I'm going to show you guys why I did not put it. Position fixed. Watch what will happen. You can see that it has reduced the width. It's kind of going to wrap the container, the contents. But now let's put width, and let's put width 100% or 100 VW, which is, so that you use this or use VW, which is 100 view width, which is still going to work well the same way. Let me just use this. So whichever one that works well for you, fine. So I'm trying to give you guys every possible encounter you're going to have. So you can see now that my as I'm scrolling, my my nav bar is scrolling with me. So what I'm going to do just to avoid future problem, I'm going to put top 0. So it will, some browser might want to bring it down, might want to give space here or at the top. So I don't want that. That's why I'm putting top 0. So it's going to clip to the top and it's going to be attached to this. So now you can see that after putting this, it's coming out the way we want it to come out. But now our sometimes once you put this fix now, some of your content might be on top of here. Okay, let me just put this. Let me remove something here. Let me remove this. Watch what will happen. Or let me just remove this. So you can see it has gone to the top. I'm just trying to do something. I think let me just move. Let's move this. Let's move this. So go to the top. It's not at the top yet. Okay, let's move this. Ah, column, flex. Let me just move the two of them. So let's be fast because you're behind schedule. So now you can see that it went to the top. Now, how are we going to make the content visible? That is one thing. Okay. I'll get why it's doing like that. I get why it's doing like that. So let's move align item. Let's move this. So it's going to go to the end. Yeah. So now this flex now is not supposed to go to the top. So I'm moving this. Okay. Notwithstanding, let's just remove the two of them first of all. So now, if I remove them, you see that it's going to the top, and this background is kind of affecting it. What am I going to do? I'm going to now come down to my hero section and give it the kind of padding top 100%. So that I'm going to see what I'm having. So you can see that it has dropped to the bottom. So you can see now. So that whenever you have such scenarios, what are you going to do? Drop it down so you can see what is going on. So, but I don't really need it since I've used what's called since I've used flex and align item and justify content to bring it at the middle is still going to still stick. So you can see that we are succeeded in putting a scrollable nav bar with our content. So now let's do this last aspect. I will see if we can have time to do this one, just the nav bar and the hero section if possible. Then we are good to go. You guys will complete the remaining, or in our next class, we'll complete it. So I just want to do this one first because I just want to show you guys how to use Figma files. So what are we going to do now? Let's put in mind, I told you guys about our logo icons. Because we don't have any icons here, let's export our icons. Let's export these icons. So don't forget to make it 4 and export. Let's export these icons. Uh, Try to show you guys how to use Figma very well. So let's export this as PNG. You can use SVG if you want to, whichever one that works well for you. But why am I using PNG? So that you guys will know that whenever you want to import it as PNG, you have to increase the quality to 4x. So I'm going to go to my download section and copy the 4 of them. The 3 icons, sorry. I'm just going to enter here and I'm going to copy this, cut it, copy. Let me just copy it. Let me just copy it. So inside my icons now, I'm going to paste this. So I'm going to do the same for this one. I'm going to do the same for this one. Copy. So inside my icons, I'll paste it again. Don't forget, I've opened the file already. I've already opened the icon folder. So I'll paste it. So don't forget that this is the icon folder inside the assets. So I just have to enter inside the icons and paste these 3 icons. So now we have this already. So now let's tie this one first. Then let's start it. So we are done with our hero section. So in our last class, somebody asked, how can we create hero section and make our navbar scroll? I think that's what the person was asking. So I believe what we have done today has answered your question. I believe so. But if you are still confused, you still have other things to ask, you can still ask me. I'm always there to answer you. Maybe you chat me up or you ask it now if you are part of the class for today. Or this is my number here. I've set my number to the chat. So you can still ask me a question at any point in time if you are getting any difficulty. Or make sure you try to follow our progression, our previous class down to this class. We haven't taken break into this class. But now we're standing, let's just try and be fast. So we have limited time. So now what we're going to do, we are going to come down to our code. So you are succeeded in doing our hero section, and our nav bar is done. So you can see, so let's come down to our code. The next place we're going to look at, let me hide this one now. Let me hide this. Let me hide this. So we are done with our nav, done with our hero. Let's come down to goodwill. You can see, so this is what we want to work on now. So let's put our class name. Let's give it a class name, goodwill. So I'm trying to use something that can rhyme. So whenever I come to this project, I will not stress myself trying to understand, trying to let me remove all this thing that is down here. Since that we are done with everything here, we are done understanding it. Let me remove it. Yeah. So it will look like our code look good. So goodwill, we are in goodwill. We are talking about good. Okay, this footer. Let me hide my footer. So goodwill is what we are talking about now. So let's go to our style and just goodwill section beginning. So how are we going to do this now? The first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to put width 100%. So am I giving the parents a class now so that I can be able to, you can see this demarcation. So this demarcation is kind of a universal demarcation. So what am I going to do? I'm going to just look at it. 125 is the demarcation. So I'm going to put, I'm going to come down here and just put a universal padding. Uh, container. Let me just put project, project container padding. I'm going to put padding top 0 pixel. And I'm going to put 125 pixel so that I can be able to monitor rather than just writing. I'll just be able to give all my projects a particular kind of padding. All my sections of my project a particular kind of padding. So when you come down here now, you will now see that that aspect has been given padding. You can see I've given this particular section that particular kind of padding. So sorry, let's take a 5 minutes, a 3 minutes break. Sorry for that. Let's take a 3 minutes break. Okay, guys. Sorry for taking much break. So let's go into the next part we are talking about. Okay, goodwill. So I've started in giving. You can see that the way I'm structuring my code, I'm trying to put some universal styling. So I will not be creating those styling again. Mhm. Mhm. So let's continue to the next part, which is separating these aspects now. So you can see that in our Figma file, this is the last section we're creating for the Figma file. Then we are going to just create hero section and uh nav bar for this one. Then we are done for today. Then tomorrow, which we'll be having our next class, I have to shift on Thursday class to tomorrow. Then we are going to do responsiveness and touch some things. So you guys will get used to it. So you can see the gap now. There is gap between this one and this one. So now the first we're going to do, we're going to put our flex. Remember, we added our universal class of flex. I'm going to put the flex here. And then I'm going to go to our goodwill and put that gap, which is was 41. So I'm going to put the gap in our goodwill gap, 41 pixel. So 41 pixel now, you can see that it is separated 41 pixel. Okay, there is it. Let's look at it if it has actually. Okay. So let's copy our flex column and add also, because I think the flex is giving it a row automatically. So let's add our flex column here. So it's going to be a column, not a row. So you can see it now. Let's not give it a padding, universal padding of 38, 32.6. But if you look at it, it's still kind of touching this top. So let's give it 32.6. So let's go to our goodwill again. Let's give it padding 32.6 pixel, then 0 pixel. So that the left and right, because we're already giving the left and right, so there's no need of giving it again. So you can see now that it has sorry. It's true to affect this. I just see put that 125. I don't want to start writing. Let's just put it. So now we have gotten the top and the three down aspects that we need. So the top now, let's go to the top now and start adding our class name. So this is the top. So let's put class, class name. So good be header. So what are we going to do with good be header? It's just like you can see the way these ones are closed. Let's just look at it again. Goodwill header. If we click this one, there is still a gap between the both of them. So let's come down and just add this flex column, this and that. Let's add it here so that we can add our gap. So let's add gap of 5 pixel so that you can separate the two top contents. Mhm. So we come, we see that this Goodwill header has only one H3 and one P. So there's no need of adding CSS class for it. I'll just come here and copy this and I'll put H3 and also do the same for P and I'll put P tag, which is a paragraph. So now let's continue. H3 now, what are we going to do for H3? Let's see what H3 has. So automatically we have this. The top is the H3. So now you can see that H3 has 40 pixel size. Font size 40 pixel. Then the next one we have font weight 400. Then the next one we have color of black 3. So that is that for this. Then for the down one we have almost same thing. So I'm just going to copy it and paste. And you see the color for this down one is this. So the font size is 29. So we can see line spacing 1.5 pixel. So I want to copy it also, line spacing. We're trying to get what this has. So we're trying to make it look the same way it's looking. So you can see we are succeeded in there. But let's reduce this 5 to 3, the gap. Yeah, let's reduce it. So we are succeeded in getting this one. You can see our website is now coming alive the way it's supposed to look like. Now, the next thing we're going to do, we are going to now style this last one, this last section, then we are done for this aspect. Congratulations, guys. So you started building your website to look good. So I'm going to come down here and put class good will description. So I'm going to look at this. So we have 3 containers here. But if you look at the 3 containers, put in mind, now there's something I want to explain to you. You can see that they look the same way. What is here is similar to what is here, and what is similar to what is here. So there is no need there's no need to start giving this a different class or different identity and give this a different identity and give this a different identity. No, there is no need for that. What I would just do, the parent container will have a parent identity, then the 3 of them that are inside will have a unique identity. Since they are the same, since they are similar, if you look at it, there is no difference, it's just content changing. So there will be no need you creating for this one, coming and still copying the same thing and creating for this one, copy the same thing and creating for this one. No, I'll just do the same thing for all of them. So I'll try and give them similar stuff. So what will I do now for this one? I'm going to use an image here rather than image here, IMG. Since I've copied the icons already, source, SRC source, Then I'm going to locate the images, the icons. Icons. Then the first one is notes and bookmark. I think the first one is bookmark. Then I'm still going to do the same for others. Okay. Oh, no, not bookmark, not bookmark. The first one is not bookmark. I'll put mark. I'll put menu. Oh, no, no, no menu. First one is no menu. I'm going to put notebook. Yeah, the first one is notebook. That is it. So I'm going to do the same for these ones. Then the second one is bookmark. Menu, sorry. Second one is menu. And the third one is bookmark. Think I got it right. So that is it now. So now we have started giving this description. So what are we going to do? We're going to use uh, a class which we have defined before. A class which we have defined before. What is that class? Which is the flex kind of class. So you can see that I use flex and they are CR space and the spaces are equal. So what am I going to do? I'm going to use that display flex which we have at the top. I'm just going to go and copy it. Okay, display between, you can see it. And it's justify content in space between. So that's what I want. I'm going to paste it here. So let's go to our code and see how it looks now. So you can see we have gotten it, slightly gotten it. We have slightly gotten it. We are at the same pace. We have slightly gotten it, but we haven't gotten it fully. And so, what are we going to do? We're just going to do some retouching, and boom, we are good to go. So now, at this junction, any style I give to this first div or this first container, I will still put it at the second container. Likewise, the third container. So class name. So I will now give it. What will I use? What will I use? What will I use? Goodwill description container. No matter how long it is, make sure you give it something that if you see, you can easily, without even looking at your code, you can easily know where it's coming from. That's what I'm trying to do. Not trying to make sure, even without looking at my code. Once I see goodwill, I don't really need to tell you that this is where it's coming from. I already know where goodwill is. So goodwill, what will I do now for goodwill? So now the other thing I need to do is to copy this and paste it here. So I'm doing everything, I'm pasting it everywhere. So that, and I think we are going to be fast with this. This is almost 10 o'clock. Or this is past 10, sorry. This is almost 11 o'clock. Sorry guys. So let's continue. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to give it a width of 30 pixels so that you can see the way they are closer. They are close together. I don't really like that closeness. So let me give it a width of 30 pixels so that they can have space. So each of them is having width of 30 pixels, or you can see use 31 if you want to. So it's still good like this. So now the next thing I'm going to do is goodwill container. Then I'll reduce the image for goodwill container. Goodwill container image. Container image. Then I'll also give this goodwill container this details. Details. So I think this is all. So let me just copy this and go to this point and paste it. And go to this point and paste it. Where did I paste this one? Sorry, it's supposed to be here. Let me go back. Let me paste it here also. Then I'll copy this one also, details, goodwill container details, and paste it here. Likewise here also. So I'm good to go. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is the image now. So I'm going to just style the image. So when I go to the Figma file, what is the size and height of the image? That is the first thing. Size and height of the image. So once I click it, I look at here, automatically sees the no size. So you can see height 45, width 45. So I'm going to put width 45, pixel height 45 pixel. So I think the image is settled. The image is settled. Now, the next thing I'm going to do for this is to look at the gap, 12 pixel. So the container now, I'm going to put gap 12 pixel. So if I put the gap 12 pixel, it will not reflect because I've not added what is called this uh flex and flex column, so it will not go row wise. So if I add only flex now to this point, let me add flex to this point, and add flex to this point, flex to this point, and add flex also to this point. If I save it and look at our code, you will see that it will go row wise. That's not what we want. So we just had to add the flex column. Let me just copy it and paste it. Flex column. Let me add it here also. So it will become in a column, not in a row. I don't really like. Ah. So you can see it now. You don't have that space that you're looking for. So now the next thing you're going to do is to next thing we're going to do is to just how will I put it now? Is to we have talked about the image. Now the next part is this part, details. Now let's start with details. Now the details also have gap. So since it has gap, I'll copy this aspect. You can see that I'm not repeating that flex again. I'm not really repeating it. But if I did not do it this way, I will always repeat it, and it's not really good. It's not make your code look nice. It's not make your code look nice. It's make your code look scatters. And one thing with programming that you need to put in mind: always avoid repetition. Always try as much as possible. I know sometimes in some scenarios you can't avoid it, but always try to avoid repetition. It's very, very important you try as much as possible to do that. So I'll come down here and put gap. Let's look at the gap we want to use. 12 also, 12 pixel. So you can see that I have my demarcations now. Now let's tie the up one. I don't really think 12 pixel works very well. Let's use 8. So as you look at this one is like a tie to, yeah. So let's come down to this, and okay, now you can see we have only one H for inside this container. We have only one P inside this container, one paragraph. So I will not really necessarily need to start creating that class for it. I'll come down here and just give it H4, and likewise for P, I'll do the same for P tag, and come down here and give it my P tag. So what are we going to do now? Next thing we're going to do is to look at this. I think we're going to stop here. We might not do the other one. So tomorrow we'll start with the other one and try and see where we reach and do responsiveness. So guys, please try and try this on your own. Try and try this on your own. I'm sending it on the chat now. Send it on the chat. Try and try it on your own. So try it by yourself and see where you can end, so that when we are starting tomorrow to do it, you will not find it difficult to grab. So we'll stop in this one for today. Then when we'll come tomorrow, first of all, start with this one, build it to a certain level and build the responsiveness, then come back to this one and build it and build the responsiveness also where we stopped. So I think what we are now is still okay. It can still guide you guys to a greater level. So we might come back tomorrow to start building. We are almost done with it. Not not regarding, we are almost done with it. So I can build this footer. So I can teach you guys how to build a footer also. So, but don't worry, we'll try as much as possible to see to that. If we don't do it tomorrow, next tomorrow in our next class, we might do it next week. And I think we might be doing only one class next week, which is on Tuesday. Only one class. So you guys can go for a break. So now let's look at this. We have clicked on it. 2700. So font size, we have 20 pixel. Font weight, we have 700. So I can make it bolder and look like you can see. So it's not look like the other one that is a normal text. You get so, and you can see col color. We use 1, 2, 3 black. So same I will do for here also, but we'll change the font size and change some things also. So this one is 17400. 400 for this one. Then this one is 17. So and it's not black. Use it. So and if we check it now, we'll see that it will look exactly as what we want. So you can see that we are getting what we want and it's looking as what we want. So from here now down to here, you can see it's similar to this aspect. So thank you guys. I seriously appreciate your time and it is good for us to stop here. Sorry for taking much of your time, but I just want us to do this before the break. So thank you guys. So if you have any question, if you're in the class and you have any question, you can ask now. This is a moment of question. Ask your questions. So if you have any question, you can ask. If you don't understand anything, you can ask. If no question, we'll continue in our next class tomorrow. We have shifted the Thursday class to tomorrow. So if no question, we are going to stop here. So thank you guys for joining today's class. I still appreciate and look forward for more adventure with us. So I believe you guys are going to get the best out of this program. If you follow the program very well, like if you are consistent, program is all about consistency. It might take time for you to understand. But once you get the basic and get it properly, going to other programming language will not be hard. So let's stick to what we have. Getting the basic is very, very important. So thank you guys for joining today's class. So I'll just leave 5 minutes more for any question. If there's no question, we'll cut for today.